Alright, welcome to the channel. This is Kingdom Overlanding. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This video is going to be a little bit different than our normal action adventure videos. Today I'm just going to be kind of going over what we've been doing the past few months of the truck. We've got a Ford Expedition we built into an overlanding rig for myself and the family. And just want to give everybody an update on what we've been doing with it and what we got going on in the future. So stay tuned and thanks for watching. Alright, so we'll just start from top to bottom. First thing I want to go over is going to be our new roof rack. We just released that on our website, kingdomoverlanding.com, but it's a 4th generation Ford Expedition roof rack. And right now we've just got it for the standard. We're working on making a max size as well, but this fits on Ford Expeditions and possibly Navigators. Still need to confirm that, but this thing is super awesome. We've designed it to essentially use all the space on the Ford Expedition roof. As you can see, the wind fairing goes all the way to the front, just a little bit behind the antenna. So we've also incorporated lights. I've got the KC set up, and we've got a Pro 6 gravity 54-inch light bar from KC. So that's going to be 9 of the Pro 6 lights. This thing is just crazy bright. And we've also got cutouts for 10-inch light bars on the side, two light bars per side. So I also do want to add a chase bar for the back, because with our swing out, it's a little hard to see the turn signal and the brake lights. So I want to add the chase bar that will have amber, white, brake, and turn signals on that chase bar. KC makes that as well. So this roof rack is very lightweight. We've got it weighed in at 57 pounds. It's 1/4-inch aluminum thickness, so it's not going to add a lot to your overall vehicle weight. With everything we've done to this vehicle, we're getting about 12.5 to 13 miles per gallon, so it's still not bad. With the aluminum, it's incredibly strong. It's going to be able to handle any load that you put on here, and it's going to far exceed the vehicle's weight limit before this rack starts to become compromised. So one of the other improvements we made on this version is that we've had to adjust the height of the roof rack. My first one, it was very low profile, and that's what we wanted, but I found out that it was almost touching the roof of the truck. So we had to bring it up because I wanted to be able to mount my tent with its factory mounting rails, which we did. And we also wanted there to be clearance for other mounting accessories. So before, I had my tent bolted directly through the bottom of the tent through these crossbars, and there was no factory mounting from 230. So we did raise up the tent a little bit, brought it up 1.5 inches from the highest point of the roof, and it still maintains a very low profile. It's not that big. So our crossbars are made of extruded aluminum T-slot. It's going to give you infinite amount of customization options. You can attach any kind of gear you want. There's a lot of different websites out there that offer tons of mods and attaching equipment for gas tanks, spare tires, Zargus cases, tents, whatever you have it. I'm going to roll with the tent and a 13-gallon water tank on mine. I use some of the hardware from 80/20 extruded aluminum, and I was able to ratchet strap my tank down, which is what I wanted to do because I need to be able to tilt that tank up and down, because even though it does have a spigot on the side, it's very difficult to get all the water out of it. So being able to unstrap it temporarily and put a tilt on that tank, I can get about an extra day of water out of it. Then we also made a modification to allow for panoramic glass sunroofs for those to be fully functional with this roof rack. You've got pro-lane clearance, so if you guys have that, don't even sweat that. It'll fit perfectly fine. And then with the crossbars, they are adjustable, so you won't even have to worry about your views being obstructed. Alright, so now we're going to move down to the ground level. As you can see, we have added 37-inch tires. We started out with factory 32s approximately, and now we're up to 37-inch tires. The last set of tires we had on were KO2 BF Goodrich, and those were just under 34-inch tires. at 285/75. So now we've got a true 75-inch tire, 12.5 wide on the 17-inch rim. So we did have to do a lot of customization, especially on the front two tires, to get that to fit. Did a lot of trimming. Right out of the gate, I took 3.5 inches off the fender. And then I trimmed on the inner wheel well. There's a lip that runs, it's about that wide, and it's like a pinch weld. So I had to cut that off just to allow the full articulation of the steering. So now everything clear, it's totally fine. It does rub a little bit at full flex on full crank on the frame. That's like the only spot it rubs on the front. On the back, I didn't trim that much, so it looks a little funky, but as of now, it's not rubbing at all on the street, and it's only rubbing at full flex on the trail. And it's rubbing up high up in the wheel well. And I'm pretty sure that's due to all the weight I've added. So I've already maxed out the adjustability on the current Icon springs I have. So I ordered a new set of 700-pound springs. So that'll upgrade the weight that I can hold and allow for some adjustability on that. So I'm hoping that will take care of the rubbing that happens on the rear tires at full flex. So on the street it's fine. On the normal trail there's no rubbing whatsoever. I can turn just fine. It's just at full flex we are getting still a little bit of minor rubbing. But overall, just absolutely loving the 37-inch tires. I mean, that's been the one drawback with our Expedition is the ground clearance. So we've got 37s now. It measures about 15.5 inches at the frame of ground clearance. And I didn't measure it before we got it factory, but I know it's right around 10 inches. So I mean, you got 5 inches of ground clearance we've improved it on. So we should be able to do pretty well, keep up with everybody we need to keep up with, and just keep having loads of fun. Because with this Expedition, I mean, all the interior space, the cargo space, the horsepower, the torque, it checks all the boxes. You know, we just need to improve a little bit on the off-road capabilities. All right, so here we go. We got the Westcott Designs double swing out. This thing's been a lifesaver. As soon as we figured out that we need a new spot for the spare tire, this was the only answer. I mean, you've got this awesome swing out on this side, so we put the Zargus case on there, and then this silver thing right here is a table that folds down, and then on the other side we have our spare tire, obviously right here, with a little gear bag. So that's pretty neat. And then down low you can see where the high lift jack is. Great spot. So this thing actually is not secured. They've got like a patent pending wedge system that bolts in, and it kind of slides into the hitch mount, and then you ratchet it and the wedge will spread out. So that's kind of the technology they have on that. And it does come with a slot, so I can put a locking pin all the way through just to lock it on and as well as secure it. So now if anybody wants to try and steal this thing, I wish them luck, because this is definitely the most awkward piece of equipment. I mean, even with everything off, it is just silly pain in the butt trying to get this thing off. So the pin is just more so I can use it as a recovery point, because you can see I've got the shackle there, so that pin will give me some peace of mind. But yeah, this set over here, Zargus case, I love having this here. Got this out of the back of the car, put it here. Super convenient having gear that I need right in the back of the truck, and that case is waterproof, dustproof, perfect spot. I know it's kind of designed for a cooler, but we like to keep that cooler inside. So Zargus case goes here. And obviously you got this little fold down table, it's super neat. Yeah, so just another workspace, little flat working area, and it does clear our gear drawer in the back. I'll show you real quick. Yeah, so here you can see we've got a full kitchen right here in the middle. Got a tabletop here, storage case. Just loving this back area. And the gear bag on that tire, I'll show you that real quick. thing is awesome because you've got pockets. Three huge pockets. We put a first aid kit in here. I think I put a fire extinguisher in here, and then over here, just random catch-alls. So that's great. And obviously, you got your trash bag in the main compartment. So what's special with this one is that it has an anti-sway strap behind it. So a lot of those trash bags like this fall down and just look nasty. Where this one is good to go, it's never going to fall down. Hey guys, so yeah, I just wanted to clarify what I meant by secured. I just mean that someone isn't going to steal it. I mean, obviously if somebody wants something bad enough, they can steal it, but I'm 100% confident that this system is never going to fall off or get loose or, you know, for whatever reason fall off. Like I said, it is the most awkward, heavy thing to try and get off. It definitely takes two people. And sometimes a floor jack or even a forklift with the gear off, with the tire off. Like, you know, this is a solid piece of equipment. You can definitely rely on it. Westcott Designs. All right, now let's go through some stuff in the gearbox. Start out with Wagon Tech. This is a power box for when your battery goes dead, your startup battery. This is a great tool. Everybody should have this thing. You never know when a battery's going to die. So check them out, Wagon Tech. Wagon Tech power box. You get your input, use USB-C, a couple charge spots, flashlight. I've used this to jumpstart my car 4 times. Pretty sure I can get 4 times out of this. So I wouldn't use it to charge anything, just because it's, you know, won't save for emergencies, which would be starting your car and getting out of a spot. So I'll use other devices to charge cell phones and whatnot with. Yeah, so guys, this is the Wagon Tech lamp, one of their smaller lamps. This thing is super handy. We've got 2 of them. You can mount it 2 different ways. You got magnets, and then you've also got these hooks. So those are great for in and around the tent. Lasts a pretty good time. Like, you got an indicator right here, but this will easily last 4 or 5 nights. Just one. We've got 2. So super handy. Check these out, and they're very reasonably priced. Super reasonably priced. I mean, they're not super crazy bright. They're not like spotlight bright, but they will throw off the perfect amount of light. This is kind of a fun little tool. It's a adapter for a DeWalt battery. Hooks on, and I've got some of those for work, and this thing will charge a cell phone. I don't even know how many times. It's got 2 USB ports right here, flashlight. This thing was like $15 on Amazon, so check that out. Just some backup radios, never don't need that. Very handy to have. These are Motorola Talkabouts. This is pretty cool. This is a Lifestraw water filtration device. So essentially it fills up with water. You've got a hose right here you connect to the bottom of this container, and then filters the water out, and you've got, you know, backup water source. So if you guys don't have something like this, check it out. You really need this because you never know when you might run out of water. This is just good to have. It takes up very little space. We got a fire extinguisher. Good to have that. Kind of not necessarily explain that. Got my turtleback coffee cup. Actually won that on Instagram. They're doing a giveaway. Alright, so we did end up upgrading our recovery setup a little bit. We've got a Kinetic recovery rope right here and 2 soft shackles. This is probably the biggest Kinetic recovery rope on the market. Has a max break strength of 52,000 pounds, I believe. Yes, 52,000 pounds. It's pretty much meant for a full-size vehicle. It's got built-in soft shackles, so that's pretty neat. And on both ends, and it's just silly. We haven't gotten to use it yet. I want to use it. We haven't gotten to yet though. And then I've got 2 other soft shackles. These are from Factor 55. But I did get both of these, or all 3 of these, from Off-Road Supply Co. So be sure to check that website out. Alright, so now we move into the switch system. I went with the Aux-Beam 8-bank switch. So far, after 1 night run, it's worked out pretty good. I've got my entire fuse box right here. I got it bolted into an existing bolt that was already there, so didn't have to do any drilling on that. It's pretty cool because you got a breaker switch right here. It's gonna be a little tricky still because I need to wire the power accessory cable, so that way my switch isn't just always on, and that way I don't have to come out here and flip the breaker. Because right now I have to flip the breaker to get this thing powered up. So I need to find a spot to wire this accessory cable in, but I mean it's pretty simple. We've got 5 light bars going with the front and the 4 sides. So this is the KC factory wire harness. Runs up through here. Incorporated the wire hider they make. Runs right up in here, and then it connects to all the lights. So that's pretty neat. And all of those lights are operated individually. So, well, the left and right side are operated individually, and then the front light bar. So I got 3 switches. So yeah, it just runs all the way across over the engine, and then I've got a grommet in there. You can kind of see it. Punctured a hole in that grommet, and that runs into goes to the firewall into the cab. Alright, so here's my switch. We're inside now. I don't know what the hubs is. I think that's kids find the sticker pad, but there's the main light bar. I need to put stickers on for the left and right, but that's what we got. Not quite sure where I want it yet. I'd like to have it here on the corner, eye level, because I want to be able to just glance and be able to see it at a quick glance. I don't have to look down, because you don't want to take your eyes off the road. So thinking here, but more than likely I'll end up putting it on this platform. I've got the 67 Designs mount ball. That's where I put my cell phone and GPS. So may have to run 3. We'll see. This is a built right platform, but bolts right into the Ford. One other thing I wanted to hit on was first aid. So this is our first aid kit. This is from Frontline Medical. We've unfortunately had to use this already a bunch of times. It's got a lot of good stuff in here. Got everything from bug bites to antiseptic cream. It's got bandages, band-aids, antibacterial stuff, scissors, a lot of good stuff. My wife's a nurse, and she's made this work for us every time we've had a problem. So if you guys don't have something like this, check it out. It's Frontline Medical Defense.com, and they're very, very good priced. Also, guys, when you guys get this stuff, keep it convenient, accessible. You don't want to be having to dig through tons of drawers and tons of bags to find your first aid. We keep ours right here, tucked away in this pouch. It's super easy to get to. So if you're in an emergency situation, someone's hurt, they need first aid, this needs to be handy. So check them out. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this video wasn't too boring for you, but we had a lot of questions on what's been going on, so here's a good update for you. Got a lot of cool stuff on here now. I feel like it's a very, very capable vehicle for us. There's just a few more things I wanted to do. Chase bar, install the rear coils, and then if we get real crazy, do the lockers. But I think we might want to wait until the Timberline comes out next winter. That should be really cool. The Ford Expedition Timberline. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please give me a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Thanks again.